so that we'll get to know where each and everyone on this call is joining us from tonight. We'll have Ella from Nigeria. We'll have Kanayo from England. Amazing. It's good to have you on the call, Ella. It's good to have you on the call, Kanayo. So if you're just joining us tonight, we are going to be discussing cybersecurity. We're going to try and connect all the dots that you think exist there in cybersecurity and make you understand everything that you actually need to know when it relates to cybersecurity. And with me tonight, I have amazing panel. So with me, I have Victor, and I also have Olu. I'm trying not to pronounce the last names because really it's a hard for me to pronounce it. So with time, they are going to personally, pronounce their names so that I also get to meet them and be able to pronounce their names fully. All right. So personally, who are we? We are Analytics, and we are the leading educational technology company coming out of Africa that is helping people of the Black community to break into the tech ecosystem. So what we do is by lowering the entry barrier using project-based approach to teach our students the skills that they need to give them that project-based experience that will make it easier for them to break into the tech industry. And for the last 4 years, we've helped over 2,000 people across UK, US, Canada, and of course, Africa to move into different roles from their initial roles. So we play across a couple of tech domains like data analytics, business analytics, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, and of course, cybersecurity. So we have an amazing team of instructors that always come into the classroom to use project-based knowledge from their places of work to teach our students so that they will have all those necessary experience that they need to help them land their new roles. And tonight, we're going to be discussing cybersecurity. Who am I? So my name is Chukwemeka Ekpa, and I'm a technology consultant with a close to a decade experience in governance, risk, and compliance. Okay, and of course, strategic consulting, and I am the CEO of Analytics. I've guided over 1,000 individuals without any technical background to successfully move from their initial career path into the tech industry. So personally, I have experience that spans across the banking industry, the fintech ecosystem, and also the hospitality sector, and also the capital market, right? So I've served in these positions in a couple of roles: GRC, head of control, data analyst, business analyst, and of course, management consultants. And you can connect with me across the socials, LinkedIn, Twitter, and of course, Instagram, and we're going to, keep in touch. So what are we going to do here tonight before I bring up my panel? So we're going to try and have an understanding of everything as it relates to cybersecurity. And also I'm going to have a deeper conversations with the panel that we have tonight. So we have seasoned cybersecurity experts with us, and we also walk you through how you personally can get started in this exact industry, and also some of the success stories that I've had in the past from our own students. And also by virtue of you being on this call, we have an
You're muted.
I think someone muted me. Okay, I think I was talking about the discount. So basically, by virtue of you being on the call tonight, we also have an amazing discount for you. So please stay tuned so that you get to, grasp everything that we are talking about tonight. So next is about the amazing panelists that I have with me tonight. So first is we'll have Victor. Hi, Victor, are you there? I think I'll allow you to come and do the honors of pronouncing your surname, and also talking more about yourself. Hi, Victor, you have the floor.
Hello, good day, everybody. Good evening, everybody, from wherever you're joining us from. My name is Victor Onyenagubom. I'm a lecturer in cybersecurity, as you see on the screen, in Teesside University, the campus in London. I'm happy to be here. And when 10 Analytics reached out to me to come speak in this event, I thought it was a wonderful opportunity for me to share my experiences and whatever little knowledge I have, in order to build up the community. So I'm really happy to be here, and I think it's going to be a very insightful evening for everybody here. So thank you everyone for joining. and coming in today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Victor. And with me also here tonight, we have Olu. Hi, Olu. Please, you have the floor.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I currently work with Grant Thomson UK LLP as a limited liability partnership. And prior to joining Grant Thomson, of course, I've worked in internal audits, I've worked in technology in the past, and over the years, I've built my career around information security. And in the recent time, I'm focusing so much on governance, risk, and compliance in the space of cybersecurity. It's a pleasure to be here tonight, and I'm looking forward to an engaging moment with everyone on the call.
All right. Thank you so much, Olu. It's good to have you on the call with us tonight. So I'm going to stop my share so that we can be able to have a full view of everyone that is here. So I'm going to pin the speakers. I'm going to pin the speakers so that everyone can get to see that they are here with me. Okay, just 1 second. All right, so we're going to be jumping right into the discussion that we have for tonight. So we're going to be jumping right into what we have for tonight. I'm going to spotlight myself, and I'm going to spotlight every other person that is speaking with us also. All right, I believe that we can comfortably see the two giants that we have with us tonight to dissect everything that concerns cybersecurity in the person of Victor and Olu. So they've done the introduction, and we're about to jump right into the discussion for tonight. So please, what you do for me is get a pen and paper, because they're going to be sharing a couple of knowledge for you to be able to understand, and also, take notes of things that you need for you to be able to move into this exact career path. So basically, first we'll try to understand what cybersecurity actually is all about. So I'll try and get a little bit background of how Victor and Olu actually, found themselves in this exact place. So I'm going to start with Victor. Victor, how did you find yourself in this space called cybersecurity? I mean, to even be a lecturer in the university, how did it happen?
Oh, okay. Mine was just like the logical conclusion because I had my first degree in computer engineering in Abia State. I did my bachelor's in computer engineering, got a first class, um, came over to the UK, did my master's in computing, but I specialized in cybersecurity. But during my bachelor's degree, I did see the message. So during my bachelor's degree, I also did like a cybersecurity internship. So that was where the interest started building up. Then when I came into the UK, I worked for a while too as a security analyst before working as a research assistant. And I've always loved academics though. So I kind of like applied for the role and I got it. I've also attended predoctoral school with Max Planck Institute of Software Systems in Germany. I attended, did predoctoral school there, um, where I was able to like get in contact with some professors. So I got to experience some things about cybersecurity, and I thought academia was like something I could get into, and so far it's been fun. So that's just like the short story.
All right, that's fine. So currently you have your PhD, so I'll be sure to insert that doctor
No,
in front when I
no, no,
address
no,
you.
no, 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 no PhD yet. In process.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you so much for sharing, Victor. How about you,
Yeah.
Olu? I mean, your own is quite a journey. I know you moved from, I think, accounting or something of that nature. So let's hear your own story as well.
Yeah, I know it's one of the uninteresting stories. So, yeah, but I'll make it a bit interesting if everyone there would just be interested, because I know very well that a lot of persons are also trying to do the same from different backgrounds. Some are doctors, medical doctors, and some of us are in other
So
fields.
hi, Olu. Are you using a mouthpiece? I think that is
Oh, right. Okay, you know what? Uh,
yeah, because the
because
audio was somehow.
I felt that could happen, and I just got this.
Yeah,
I
it's
got
perfect now.
yeah. This should be better now.
Yes,
All right.
it's
So
better.
yeah, I have my first degree in accounting, and uh, I just picked interest in technology, and of course, started working with a consulting back home in Nigeria, uh, and rose through the ranks to become the head of technology uh, in that uh, business. And from there, picked interest in technology audits. Uh, from technology audits, I started delving into uh, cybersecurity because I picked that interest at that point, not just to audit the systems, but also to understand what risks are faced in the security aspect of managing the infrastructure and application development. And from there, coming to the UK uh, to study financial technology. So when you were talking about fintech earlier, I could relate with some of the regulatory landscape and the cybersecurity requirements for uh, the startup businesses and how I've tried helping a few of the businesses working with Rest FinTech. That's another body, but we're going to talk about that much later. And uh, looking for a job to, of course, earn an income first, which is very important. I know many persons will tell you, yeah, that's not really important. That's more important, really, because you can't survive without paying bills. And from there, uh, I realized that uh, I don't just want to work in the industry. I want to work in the advisory field, and that piqued my interest in grant consulting because it's a consultancy firm where I've been able to work at developing programs to support FTSE 100 businesses. And when I say FTSE 100 businesses, these are the top 100 businesses you find in the UK. At least I have quite a few of them in my portfolio managing their cybersecurity programs. So that has helped most of these businesses to have the right view of a regulatory landscape and how to operationalize cybersecurity risk.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing, Olu. I mean, if you're here and you're thinking, oh, you studied possibly economics or you studied possibly something that is entirely out of cybersecurity line, don't be discouraged. I mean, Olu is a living witness that can be able to move from anywhere you are into this exact domain so far as you have the mind. I mean, once your mind can carry it, why not? Okay, so next question is around, let us even understand what cybersecurity is all about. So this is also a shared question between both. So first, I'm going to also start with Olu. Respect to if you are to explain cybersecurity to anyone, possibly a younger person, how will you explain it so that they get to understand what cybersecurity is all about?
So I usually use the analogy of protecting yourself against danger. Just understand that there is danger out there. And the next thing you want to do is protect yourself against the danger. So, but in this instance, these are dangers you are usually not aware of. So in the cybersecurity field, um, what you might not be aware of is somebody out there who wants to steal the data you have, which is very important to you, like you locking your gates after going into your house or locking your door. What are the things you do next? You try to ensure that everywhere is secure and safe. So in the cybersecurity field, the most important thing you have is your information or data. You just want to have it protected from the prying eyes of people who want to take it away from you or to sell it out to somebody else who will buy it. So once you understand that simple analogy, I think it becomes really easy to get into the depth of it. Now, getting into the depth of cybersecurity, it goes beyond just talking about passwords, keeping your password safe, and all those things we hear almost everywhere. It goes into the depth of the different fields in cybersecurity. And I know that's a question we probably will discuss later, but just keep it in the mind that you just want to protect yourself against the prying eyes of people who want to steal your data.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Olu. So Olu mentioned is basically for you to protect yourself against the prying eyes of people that wants to steal your data. So if you are still thinking what exactly cybersecurity, just know that part of it is you protecting yourself, you protecting organization, you protecting everyone from the prying eyes of people that wants to steal your data. So how about you, Victor? How are you going to explain cybersecurity?
So cybersecurity deals with protecting yourself when you're online, whenever you're connected to the internet. So because the internet is not a safe place, so whenever you're connected online, two systems are connected. The simple definition or explanation is just keeping yourself safe when you are online, basically. So that's just the simple explanation, So yeah, basically that's it. I think with the next questions, we'll maybe explain better, what aspects people need to protect themselves from and how that translates to opportunities for people who are looking to come into the field. So yeah.
All right. Thank you so much also for that, Victor. So I
Yeah.
think I'm now going to reverse to the plan that we had before now. So I think the next person I also have is Olu. So Olu, basically when it comes to cybersecurity, I know there are a couple of roles that exist in this exact domain. We have the blue team, we have the red team, we even have the purple team where people can easily, fuse both of them together. So what are some of those roles that you can say are in high demand, and what really can you even talk about the responsibilities for some of these guys so that everyone on this call will get to understand the existence of different parts of cybersecurity? The floor is yours, Olu.
Okay. So coming into the cybersecurity field, we need to understand that I get into a building that has quite a number of flats in it. So uh, you won't be in all the flats at once. It's not going to be possible. You need to know where exactly you're going, and you must have that address right from the beginning. And that's why it's good to understand what are those fields within this cybersecurity space. You've mentioned blue team, red team. You've mentioned purple team. But in high demand at the moment, I mean, because I set job alert to myself to just keep myself on the toe. So I see things around the SOC analysis, security operations center analyst. Uh, you see things around GRC a lot, uh, which is the space where I operate from. In the past, I've been in the VAPT area, where I was conducting vulnerability assessment and uh, testing. You see another one coming up quickly in the last 3-4 years is around the cloud space. Uh, Cloud security is also becoming something of interest to many of the organizations because some of them are already migrating from on-premise infrastructure to the cloud, and they need to protect the data they have there. Also in that space, for developers who are really good in maybe Jira and the rest of them, may start looking at the application security because that's another space that is wide open to developers or those who have experience in development. I think I would like to leave the rest for Victor to carry. Yeah, yeah,
All right, that's fine. Olu mentioned a
yeah.
couple of roles: SOC analyst, GRC, cloud security, and of course, application security. So, Victor, do you have? I know this is not a question meant for you, but tonight we are going to, freestyle
Yes.
entirely, right? So, do
Yes.
you have other roles that you also think is also part of things that we should be wary of that is currently in vogue at the moment?
Yeah, I think one of the rules that is like very important is incident response analysts. Because obviously why organizations are saying they want to stay safe from cyber breaches, it happens, right? And somebody needs to handle it, right? So there's incident response analyst, there's security engineers who like design these networks, architectures. There are penetration testers. It's a big thing in the UK, it's a very big thing. The red team, organizations want to know where they are weak, where they are vulnerable, and they are like, if for the tech events I've been attending, you see lots of startups in around penetration testing, so it's a big deal. I think penetration testing, security analyst role, security engineer roles, and like Olu mentioned, there's also the GRC space for those who don't want somewhere that is so technical. Then one last one that I think lawyers could actually look into is a data protection officer role, right? Like very like is a good role. Lots of organizations want to be compliant. I'll just stop here for now. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for that,
Yeah.
Victor. I hope everyone on this call, you are with your pen and paper, because they're already sharing the money without you knowing. Like they're already dropping the money
Yeah,
without you.
I think it's
A
I think
couple of
it's good to really stress the compliance bit, probably to just expound a bit more around the compliance. I've got quite a number of calls from so many recruiters in the UK and other part of EU. There's this new set of EU, uh, EU laws that have been passed. You hear things around NIS2, that's NIS2 and the DORA. Because in Europe they value the national infrastructure a lot. So those who own and operate national infrastructure or infrastructure supporting national security, not necessarily defense, but when we say national infrastructure or security, we're talking about things like around telecommunication, things around medical. So those who are supporting NHS, anyone who owns a data center and is supplying services to NHS, for example, or supplying internet service, maybe I didn't want to mention some organizations, but I think I'm tempted to mention a few. Let me start mentioning a few anyways. I'm not going to be crossing any
please go
line
ahead.
mentioning that.
No, please go ahead.
So
Right.
if
So
for
before
example,
you go ahead, Olu, let me just point out something for everyone. So my colleague just dropped the attendance form. So this allows you to also get the recording of this exact class so that you can easily watch everything that we are mentioning, because you may not be able to write it all down instantly, okay? So please make sure you fill that attendance form so that by the end of this session, we can use it to send the slide and the recording of this class to you. Okay, so Olu, please write on.
all right. So just talking about the compliance space, for example, it's a big thing in the UK. And I think I like the way Victor just mentioned it. If you're a lawyer, for example, you are looking at a role as a DPO, data protection officer, or that might lead you into things around the GDPR, but it's now more of NIS2 and DORA. These are two key regulations that are paying or changing the landscape of regulations in the UK and other parts of Europe. Now, I was mentioning some organizations that are already running all around, looking for compliance experts or professionals to guide them through the compliance path. What do they need to do to meet the regulatory requirements? And this is going to become big even in the next 5 years down the line. You still expect that to continue. It's not going to stop. So, like Victor said earlier, if you are afraid of getting to the technical bit, getting your hands really dirty, don't worry. You can use your brain as well. Just read.
All right, that's
Honestly,
amazing.
just read. Honestly, just read. Read,
Yeah.
understand the laws and how they apply to each of the businesses then or the industries. Then you are good to go.
Amazing. So guys, hope you can hear clearly. It's not just about the technical aspects. Just read. And understand how the laws and how you can apply it to all those sectors, and you can easily, have a role to play fully in that exact domain. Okay. So I think the next one that we also have, although I've already touched part of it, is how has the landscape for cybersecurity evolved in recent years. I don't know if you still have a couple of things you want to add to that.
Well, I'm going to add a few things there, and this is going to be from my own experience. Um, I think a couple of years back, uh, I started looking at cloud security, but I didn't really give it a shot until after, I think, 2022. I decided thinking about it, and I started thinking about it, and over time, I realized it's something I can't run away from. I need to understand um, the cloud platforms and the risks that they are exposed to, then be able to give the right set of advisory to whoever is owning any platform where they are operating, maybe AWS, Azure, or any other platform at that. And this is not just about providing advisory to them, but also having in-depth understanding of the technical bits of how these platforms operate. So there's going to be a lot to still come around cloud security. It's not a lot different from what we do on premise, but it's still a lot different as well. So just take it the way it is. It's not a lot different, but it's a lot different. Now, when I say it's not a lot different, I mean understanding of how on-premise infrastructure um, work. Then it's not going to be difficult for you to navigate your way in the cloud security space. I think I've spoken about two things already: cloud security and GRC. Part of GRC is the compliance. They are splitting that up gradually. You start seeing some roles being advertised at data governance analyst, IT security risk analyst, IT compliance analyst. They are becoming different. It's no longer the case of saying cybersecurity GRC professional, and then you combine all roles into one. As that opens up, it opens up opportunities to many more persons to come into the field. And even when Victor mentioned earlier something around incident management, these days now, they will tell you that they want an incident responder. Just focus on incident response. And some will tell you, well, we just want you to work in the space of maybe triaging incidents. So they are splitting things up gradually, breaking it down so that each one would um, have a piece of the cake on this table. So it's not going to be like everyone doing just one person doing everything. Yeah.
Okay, so amazing. This simply means there are still a couple of roles that is definitely going to come out. Even the ones that already have existing, there's still going to be some breakdown inside. I mean, inside data today, you're hearing data analytics, data science, data engineering. That's the same way in cybersecurity. Even your GRC is now being broken down into IT compliance and several other roles. So for you to be able to, be part of people that would take chances in all these new area when it starts booming, it means that you need to be able to get into the sector right now and position yourself for when it's going to be fully out there for you to grasp. So to you, Victor, I mean, as someone that you moved from computer engineering, you've been on the line of education. So this question might, I don't know how you're going to respond to it, but for someone that is just starting out, what is more important, really? A formal education, like a degree, or industry recognized certifications, or for the person to go for skill and experience aspect of training? So to you, Victor, how are you going to, approach it?
I would say that what really matters is balance, right? Balance is key in whatever you want to do. If you're already studying IT, an IT related course, don't stop. Finish up, graduate, and do something on cybersecurity if you're interested in it. But then you can now start doing something on cybersecurity. But if you are studying, say for instance, maybe food science, right, and you're interested in cybersecurity, your next line of action would be, if you cannot actually sign up for an accelerated program in cybersecurity or a bachelor's in cybersecurity, your next line of action should be certifications, obviously, and not just certifications, right? You want to also improve other parts of your portfolio. You want to maybe write blogs, you want to attend events, you want to take advantage of internships that people provide. Like for instance, for the ladies who are here, I mean, Confidence Stavely is doing an amazing job for the women with the CyberSafe program. I see a lot of girls, a lot of women who have transitioned to cybersecurity, even though their first degree was like chemical engineering or something totally different. So you don't have to pick in a way, right? You can just, there are so many programs that can help you transition. Okay. And if even in the US there's a scholarship called the Polar Scholarship, I'll probably share the link here that is current, I think it's currently open, where you can, if you apply for that particular scholarship, you get a fully funded bachelor's degree or master's degree online, where you learn stuff, on cybersecurity. You don't have to be studying something related to cybersecurity. So in conclusion, basically, if you're studying maybe software engineering, it's easier for you to delve into cybersecurity. You can start taking certifications. They help, but they are not like the ultimate. Also try to like network, also try to like talk to people about the process of transitioning. The essence of attending event, the essence of networking is that you can actually know what the industry actually wants from you when you attend industry events. You can actually know the skills they want. You can actually know who to talk to, who can introduce you to opportunities and things like that. So those are like key stuff that transcend beyond certifications or your degree. But yeah, you don't have to choose. I don't know if I actually, answer the question right, but I don't think you have to
I
actually
mean,
choose here.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, you answered it to the best of your own side. So I don't know, Luya Smiley, do you want to add anything to what Victor said? It's not your question, but if you want to, that's fine.
no, I mean, just to mention that, it's good to network because it helps a lot. I remember that I had to do that at my first ISACA event that I attended in Lagos. It helped me to link up with other professionals in PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, and that was an amazing opportunity. Then I um, had to also understanding what are the required qualifications to obtain to stand a chance. Because when you have the right skill set, uh, I'm beginning to see some organizations or some recruiters would already have it as part of their requirements that you attain this qualification or this you hold this certification. So the essence of certification I probably wanted to mention is that uh, for some of these certifications, they just like put a stamp of approval on your skills. They're just a way of saying, yes, you've got this skill set, yes, but something needs to show that a certifying body has endorsed you. And some of these certifying bodies are really recognized. I think I mentioned Isaka earlier uh, in the space of uh, audits and uh, security. For security, you can be looking at CISIN, for example, Certified Information Security Management. For audit, you can look at CISA, which is like covers almost everything you want to look at in that space. Stigate follows. I'm talking about ISACA certification now. Then, of course, the gold standard you can talk about in security is from IC squared. I mean, it's like
All
the gold
right,
standard. So
amazing.
maybe we'll get to that at the point. But if you want me to delve more into that, I could say first thing first, get to know where you can get freebies, get the freebie trainings. If
Mhm.
you have people who can also train you for money, like analytics, please take advantage of these trainings. Yes, it might cost you something now, but what you would gain afterwards, it will not equate what you have spent. It's going to be more than whatever you have spent on the training. Now, from acquiring the skills through training, you can now start looking for what certification can I obtain to validate my knowledge and skills in that chosen field. And in for IC squared, you've got quite a lot. CISSP, you've got CCSP, I mean IoT CSP and CISA. So I can speak more about that. I mean IoTC as well. And then you can start looking for ISO standards. I also hold ISO 27001. And because I'm looking forward to doing something around the PCI QSA, which is for payment card industry, and these are things you can also start looking at to say, where do I want to find myself in the future? Get that training, acquire the skills, and then start looking for a um, uh, a corresponding certification to write, because it might be required by some of the organizations, not all of them.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Victor. Thank you so much, Olu. I mean, a lot of knowledge has been shared. Personally, I even didn't capture everything that was said, which is why we've said that please, for you to get access to the recording of this class, you need to be able to fill in the attendance form so that we can share it with you. I mean, I saw someone asking whether they can also do trainings and be able to scale from there. So that I think Olu have answered. You should be able to take trainings from a couple of places and then pursue the other aspect of certifications that most organizations are going to require to help you break into that exact place. Okay. Okay, I think that's even the next question I have for Olu, really. Like as someone that moved from accounting into cybersecurity, like how important are boot camps that offer some of these training? I think that's the next question I have for you. Please go ahead.
Well, I'll just take it off from where I stopped. When I realized that I'd gotten to the peak of my career in the organization I worked for as the head of IT, I mean, there was nothing except I wanted to become a partner. And to become a partner was required. I definitely, that was not my peak. I was not interested in becoming a chartered accountant. And I say that everywhere I go. I just don't have interest in becoming a chartered accountant. Finance, I understand clearly, and I can stand my ground any day, anytime in finance. But is that a chosen career for me? No. Now, what do I need to do? I decided to start attending, you know, events, programs that could shape my career. And the very first ISCA event I attended uh, afforded me the opportunity of meeting lots of people who I could talk to. I still owe them in IST. Some of them are partners with PwC, EY, and the rest. Until today, we still have good good relationship till today. Uh, when we started talking, and one of them said, "Well, he wrote CISA uh, a couple of years ago, but the main reason why he wrote CISA was to uh, break into the technology audit field." Then technology audit covered almost everything, including cybersecurity. But there wasn't nothing that you could say this is what you should look out for except CH. Almost every other thing comes under the umbrella of CISA, ISACA. And everybody was like, okay, that's the only thing you could do. But as time went by, we realized that things are getting broken down. Many other certifications are coming up. Even ISACA started introducing more season, Seagate, Sea-Risk. And then even EC Council that started with CH started introducing to us CND. You started seeing certifications in digital forensic, and things are becoming even wider than they were in the past. It means you can fly as high as you desire. It's all within you. So I decided and said, well, I've chosen this field. What more do I want to do? I want to break into the cloud space. Then I went for that. to write CCSP, which is for cloud security professionals. I took a lot of bootcamp courses around AWS and Azure because these are the two leading cloud providers. And if you don't understand those two, eh, I don't know. I don't know where else you want to be in cloud. You can do Oracle if you like, but I think the major market leaders are those two, and you really want to reckon with that. So again, I'm going to say attend as much bootcamp as you can, attend trainings. Uh, uh, yeah, I mean,
All
choose a
right.
path
Thank
for
you so
yourself.
much. All right. Thank you so much for that, Olu. So, ABI, I hope that answers your question. So, your question was part of what we've already pre-planned to ask Olu in this exact question. So, like he mentioned, attend as much as you can. The truth I always tell people is that no knowledge is a waste. Nobody can take away anything that you've learned today. Even if it's the thing you learned, you're not using it at the moment, nobody can take it away from you. Okay, when I broke into the tech industry with data analytics, as I then should be way back 2019 or thereabouts, I was still working in the bank. So even though I transitioned, I was still fully working in the bank. So what I did then was when they give me data, because I was in regional control officer then, when they give me data to analyze, instead of doing it our normal traditional way, I was now presenting my reports like a data analyst. So right there, it was a hassle, right? It's even made me different from my banking days. So what I'm trying to mention to you is that nothing you learn from anywhere is a waste to you. There will always be a time where all those knowledge will now start fully coming to reality for you. Okay. So next question, I think this is both for Udo and Victor, but Victor, you would go first. How can someone without prior experience, cybersecurity experience, build a portfolio or gain practical skills that will make them, attractive to employers? Because these days, even though someone is just new, recruiters will still be requesting for, oh, we need you to have at least 1 year experience, or we need you to have knowledge in the use of maybe Splunk, or you need to know how to use some of the CM tools, right? But I mean, I'm new. So how do I build this portfolio? How do I go about it entirely?
Okay, so basically, the first thing to realize is that whatever field you're coming from into cybersecurity, you're not coming empty. You know something. You know something about cybersecurity, and you have skills. You have something to contribute to cybersecurity. First of all, you need to realize that you have what. So another thing to also realize that you have transferable skills that you can bring into cybersecurity. Olu mentioned that he studied accounting. Now he's into the regulations because accounting has to do with standards and stuff. So you see, he easily transitioned. So also need to realize that cybersecurity is not just about the technical stuff. We deal with the soft skill stuff too. You know how to communicate. You know how to write reports. So you're coming in with something. Also, um, depending on the area of cybersecurity you've decided to go into, if you're going into the technical bit, I would like to tell you that please try to learn networking, a bit of networking, try to have some basics of networking, know some things around routers, switches, what an IP address is, some hardware basics. It will really help. Then you want to have an online portfolio. Very important. I'm talking about mostly technical side of things now because I think Olu have spoken in depth a bit about the governance side. If you're going into the governance side, so if you go into the technical part like incident risk, SOC analyst, ethical hacker, you want to have maybe a GitHub where you have a portfolio of the Python project you've worked on. You probably have a profile on Hack the Box of the things you've done, capture the flag programs you've done. Those things show a portfolio of stuff you've done. Also, very important. If you know you are looking for like opportunities, if you have an opportunity to volunteer, take the opportunity to volunteer. It's one of the ways to actually like get some experience, ask for volunteering opportunities. That's the essence of, well, that's one of the ideas behind attending this event. You can talk to people around the fact that, please, can I come volunteer at your startup? Can I just come around and watch and stuff? Like, can I volunteer on a project? And I mentioned taking advantage of internship opportunities, especially for the ladies here who want to transition. We have a gender gap in cybersecurity. There's a lot of push to bring in so many more women into cybersecurity, which I support. So, and there's a lot of programs available for you. And back in Nigeria, I think this Ire, that I don't know if you know Ire does some Ire, I don't know her last name. She offers this nano degrees scholarships and stuff like that. So there's a lot of programs around improving diversity in cybersecurity. People offer lots of scholarship around that. You can take advantage of those. And yeah, those are just a few things you can actually do to master. But it's important you know the basics, have the basics, like know what some things about hardware, know what some things about networking. It will really help you because actually the basis of security is hardware and networking. If you don't have a good knowledge of hardware and networking, then you wouldn't really maybe understand. If you say you want to go into ethical hacking, for instance, now you want to know what an IP address is, you want to know what subnetting is. These are just like simple basic styles. If you jump the ropes, then you would come back again and learn it from the beginning. You understand? So don't skip the basics. Don't say, I'm in a hurry. I want to learn so fast. No, try to like take things step by step. And I think 10 analytics boot camps, I'm sure that they will be teaching you the basics if you sign up with them, So you want to learn the basics, and of course, you want to like document your progress. It's important to build in public and let people know what you're doing. Very important to build in public and let people see your progress. Even if you're a beginner, don't be shy. People want to see your progress. People are happy for you. People want to advise you if they see that, oh, you're not going to the right path. So it's important to build in public and let people see the progress you're making and talk to people, connect with people on LinkedIn, have an active LinkedIn profile, to show yourself and things like that. I think Olu would have more things to say.
Hi, Olu, over to you, please.
Uh, uh, well, I hope you haven't set me up.
No, not at all, not at
Yeah.
all.
Well, I think you said a lot of important things there. Yeah, it's really important to understand the basics. Uh, if you haven't gone through the basics, please take your time. You can you can't get to the 10th floor without passing through the first floor. I mean, even if you are using a drone, the drone will still pass through. It's just it's just, there's no shortcuts to it, please. There's no shortcuts. I remember having to write CCNA at the point. That that was those are some of the things uh, I probably haven't expressed in any way, but you know, I built a very solid background in technology uh, to the point where I could manage infrastructure, manage teams of developers, and understand what exactly they do with when developing applications, joining them in designing the applications they want to develop for the organization. We look at the codes together. I mean, I'm not a developer, for example, but I got involved in what they were doing, and that introduced me to understanding uh, what it means for them to have bugs and how to debug. And from that time onward, I developed lots of interest in the security of the codes they are developing. So you start hearing things around secure coding many times you hear. Oh yeah, what's the security coding all about? I'm glad Victor mentioned GitHub. Uh, you will see a lot of mess uh, with application development when people just copy codes from those sites because they just want to have a shortcut. And I'm going deep into it because I'm going to get somewhere with it. When that happens in cybersecurity, you start having uh, the risks affecting the development. We start talking about the things around the OWASP top 10. I'm looking for a better way of explaining this in a way that a layman can understand, but not get it. You start talking about things like cross-site scripting, SQL injection, and these are not just buzzwords because
Mm-hmm.
somebody had just gone to copy an entire set of code from a free site, GitLab, GitHub, because it's a community where you can also contribute and then take as well. So they just come back and say, oh, I finished this development in 2 days. Please take your time to ask how complex is what they are doing. Let's subject this to some sort of, vulnerability testing to or assessment. Uh, those who are familiar with the use of Kali Linux, can get deeper into it. And I know I got my hand dirty a couple of times in the past before deciding to focus on GRC because I think that's somewhere where I think the money is, flying this time. So the money is flying around GRC. So don't worry. If you want to do the technical bit and spend a lot of time, it gives you a lot of money. But let me just shock you. Your CISO does not have strong technical background. He's not the management far more than those who do a lot of the technical work. So go and write it down today. Take note of it. I'm telling you for free,
So,
your CISO has no technical knowledge.
so Olu, I don't think they know. I don't think many people on this call might know the meaning of CISO. If you want to
Oh,
like know the meaning,
that's the Chief Information Security Officer.
okay.
Most of them, you know what they do? Most of them, they just write CSSP, pass the exam, have somebody to endorse them to say, yes, this is a good fit for this certification because they've gotten some experience in GRC. And I can assure you, they can talk their way through anything in security. They can talk their way through it. But when it comes to the hands-on experience, getting your hands really dirty. Some of them have never opened Kali in their life. But I can tell you, I'm not going to give a figure. I'm sure in the academics you don't give figure just to because you haven't carried out research, so you don't know. You don't know for sure. But I can tell you that a lot of I would just put that as a lot. They are on the management side, so let's keep it at that. Just make sure you choose a field that suits you.
Yeah.
Get to understand what your strength is. Don't choose a field you know you will not thrive in. Look at what you can do and toe that path.
All right. Thank you so much, Olu. Thank you so much, Victor. I mean, I think we should just end the call right now because we've flogged everything that needs to be said. So Olu mentioned a couple of things around you knowing the path to toe, whether it's the technical side or whether it's the non-technical side. But just know that the CISO, who is the Chief Information Security Officer of most companies, and for clarity, that's the highest person when it comes to information security in a company, right? So if you want to be the same way you have maybe your, how am I going to explain it right now? Chief Operations
CFO,
Officer.
CEO.
Exactly. Then we have your COO when it comes to operation. When it comes to information security, you have your CISO. And these people most times do not even have the technical aspects. It's just understand the governance, understand the compliance, and fully get your certifications and fly. Okay. But most important thing also, like Victor mentioned, is for you to build publicly. Because these are things that can serve as validation for you when the time comes. There's no need that you're trying to learn something or you're trying to transition and you're not publicly speaking about these things. All right. So when you do things in hidden, people are not even going to know you. For instance, today I was meant to speak somewhere, and funny enough, a couple of people said, "Oh, this guy, you're always talking about this on LinkedIn. You are doing this," and I was happy because it shows that publicly you are relevant. People are seeing you, even though they may not say these things. They are seeing all those things. So please make sure that you build publicly and also don't skip the basics. Don't skip the basics. Because when you do, I mean, in later life, all those things may have a reverberation respect to it. So please, guys, I mean, we've said a lot of things. Ensure that you fill the attendance form so that on your own, you can go back, watch the video, and be able to know what to do and what not to do. So thank you so much, Olu. Thank you so much, Victor. So the next one is, I think we've also scratched these questions really, and it's for Olu about networking and how it plays a role with respect to, building effectively in the cybersecurity space as newcomers. So what do you have to say about that, Olu?
Okay, so go on to LinkedIn. That's your good starting point. Get onto LinkedIn. I think Twitter is getting into the same spirit these days. Identify some pioneers in the field and some who have the right qualifications and experience. You could see all that through their profile. Reach out to them. Join some communities on LinkedIn where some of the skill sets are just put out there in the open, maybe through text. Some are open. Some are sometimes organizing or hosting space or things like that. Try to join as much as possible. Let people know that you are interested in the field. Some of them, um, I think this lady does something on Twitter. I can't remember her name now, but I'll try and see if I can get to her name as time goes. Uh, she tries to uh, train enthusiasts, those who don't have any background in cybersecurity. If you join our space, she could enroll you, and then when there is an opportunity for an analyst role, after guiding you through the process, she could let you know, letting you know of organizations that have openings. She does that and it's really working. For those who are probably in the UK or US or Canada, um, Victor has mentioned earlier, please volunteer, speak up, let people know that you can intern for 3 months, you can intern for 6 months. The only way you can do that if you are in school in the UK, attend school events. Sometimes you see some job fairs uh, being brought to the school campus. Go attend those events. Even if you're not studying cybersecurity or information security, attend those events. You meet with lots of people there. Let them know your desire to be in the field or join the profession, and you would definitely uh, see mentors who would like to guide you through.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Olu.
Hello. I just wanted
Okay.
to add something.
Uh,
Um, Somebody asked a question in the chat about what certifications they should be writing. I just wanted to say that before you decide on a certification you want to write, you need to know what direction of cybersecurity you want to go into, right? That is what determines what you want to write. And sometimes you might not even need to pay for this if you get into an organization before writing. Your organization might actually sponsor it, right? So you want to first of all, especially when you're living in Nigeria where you have limited funds, you want to take advantage of maybe boot camps and free trainings first, build your capacity first before saying you want to like write these certifications because certifications can be quite expensive. And I've also shared in the link, I've shared something around 10,000 Black interns internship program for Nigerians who live in the UK. It's an opportunity to do an internship, a summer internship with the big companies in the UK. During my program, I was able to do 2 internships with that, and you get paid well for the internships and things like that. So the deadline I think is tomorrow. So if you want to apply for it, you can take advantage of it. It's been open for a while and you get opportunity to select sectors you want to work in, data analytics, cybersecurity and stuff like that for against next year, while you're building your basics. Just wanted to add that. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Victor, for that. Okay. So, guys, if you missed that, we are not definitely going to sleep here. Okay. So please ensure that you find the attendance form and fill it so that by the end we share the link to this exact class with you. All right. So moving along, I think I'm going to jump the ones that I think we've crashed and move to the other questions that I've not touched at all. Okay. Um,
Yeah,
I think Victor have talked about internship, so that's covered.
yeah.
So for Olu, back to you, and maybe to Victor as well. What are some of the common challenges that people face when trying to break into the cybersecurity field? And then how can they be able to overcome some of these challenges that they face?
See,
Uh,
is the question to me or to Olu? Is it me first?
Both of you. But
Okay.
I think Olu can go first.
Okay, Olu can go first.
okay, let me quickly just mention that I just uh, posted something on IC Square. Uh, IC Square is offering free CC certification. That's certified in cybersecurity. Again, this is for those who want to get into governance, risk, and compliance. And there's someone asked earlier about networking. If it's networking as in computer networking, there are so many courses out there you can take. I mentioned I took CCNA, and at the point I took CCNP. I decided just to, ensure that I get focused because it's something that once you get swarmed in, you might not be able to get out of it. I recall Victor talking about subnetting, supernetting. You know, these are things that I got myself so involved in to the point where I said, you know what, I've had enough. I'm not going to be building any network for MTN or Globacom. So, no, no, see, the, when I say things like this, I usually just like to put it out there so that people
Hmm.
can navigate, and that's to Chukimeka's question. You see, you can navigate your way. I've been in this field of technology for how long now? I started my career in technology in 2001. This is
Wow.
23 years. So if I'm talking about technology, I've seen things evolve over the years, and I just try to follow the trend and see where things are heading. If I see where things are heading and I need to stay relevant, that's one thing I always like to tell people I work together with. Um, See where you are currently, see what you can do with the knowledge you have acquired. And I like the way Victor said it earlier, you have something you are bringing to the table. If there is anything at all, you have that ability to work. You have that knowledge with people. There is something you are bringing to the table, definitely. You are not coming empty-headed or empty-handed. So try to understand your own strength. What can you do? What have you learned? These days, we are talking about incident management. Are you aware also that Splunk is not just Splunk as it is? It's also making use of AI and ML. They are using the large language model to also understand and come up with the risk level of each issue that is being presented to you to say, oh, this is an event. No, this is not just an event. This is an incident. How do they classify all that? I worked at one of my clients, which is quite large in the UK. I'm not going to mention the name, but it's in the retail business. It's one of the FTSE 100 business in the UK. If you want to classify for that to FTSE 25, it still falls into the category of FTSE 25. At a point, my client was looking for someone with strong knowledge of data analytics to support the cyber strategy of the business. Now you see the connection between AI, data analytics, data engineering, and cybersecurity. So try to sit back and understand what strengths do I have? What knowledge do I currently have? Where, how can this knowledge fit into the cyberspace? Start asking questions of those who have been in that field for years. They can guide you. Don't sit back on your own and feel like I just choose anything. You can get into it and get stuck. and not be able to move forward, but ask questions, then they can guide you.
So let me just add. I mean, Olu have said a lot, very important stuff he has said. So I mean, but what was it? The question was around the challenges, right? That people could face.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think one of the challenges I think people face would be trying to come in, trying to have the perfect profile. First of all, you want to be perfect. You want to be the perfect candidate. There's no perfection anywhere. You know, most people are still trying to figure things out you know. So you see, for instance, I'll give an example. You see some Nigerians coming to the UK, they maybe study something related to maybe botany or biology. They come and study a master's in cybersecurity. They get a distinction and they are working as a cybersecurity analyst today because they actually adapted, they actually started learning, they took advantage of the transferable skills they have. They took things seriously. So just because you're trying to transition from something unrelated, it's not something that is impossible. But what is actually important is more about your willingness to learn, your willingness to be teachable, your willingness to network. And like we said, another challenge you face is visibility. You have to try to build in public, talk to people. It's very important you talk to people. And I've mentioned previously that it's also very important to learn the basics of what you want to get into, know the nitty-gritty, and see if you're actually aligned with it. If you know, because spoken to a particular demography of people, and they were like, "Oh, I don't like the technical stuff in cybersecurity. I don't want it. I don't want it. No, it's too hard and everything. They don't want it." I was say, okay, you have governance, risk, and compliance to go into, just that there's a lot of reading involved, right? So you want to know where your strength lies. Then if it's governance, risk, and compliance that you think is fitted for you, then you start thinking of how you want to start writing the exams and things around those areas. But I think it's important to have a very healthy self-esteem in when you're coming into this field. Have a very healthy self-esteem, because sometimes you look at some people's profile, you might feel like, oh, when am I gonna? If you might look at Olu's profile now and be like, oh, I can never attain Olu's level, But Olu, but you just realize that okay, Olu also started from somewhere, you know, So and it helps if you see, and it also helps if you see people like Olu, you try to contact them, talk to them about like, oh, how can I become like you? What's your learning journey like? They can actually still give you lessons. Connect with them on LinkedIn and things like that. It's actually really, really helps. I think those are some things I can actually think about for now. If I can think of more, I would, I would, I would share. But I mean,
All right.
yeah, just
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Victor. Thank you so much, Olu. I mean, when Olu mentioned that he started his technology journey in 2001,
2001.
that's
Yeah.
23 years ago. I mean, that's 23 years ago. Some of us, I don't know where me and Victor, where we were as at 2001.
No, now, no, now, no, now.
All right, but that's by
That's
the way.
that's
So,
that's that's one of the myths I want us to demystify,
okay.
because don't get
Yes,
intimidated
please
by any.
go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say no one should be intimidated by other people's profile. Honestly, it's one of the fears in many people who will just come on a space and hear uh, the achievement of other people, and then the next thing is, where do I start from? Then it means, I mean, the entire space is taken. The entire cybersecurity space is taken by people who are already in this field for years. I mean, they have all the knowledge. What do I know? You know something. Don't feel that you don't know. You know something. And just, um, start from somewhere. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. You are not going to grow tall in one day. Just make sure you build that profile gradually. So if you are afraid of the technical part, pick GRC. If you are afraid of GRC, look for support roles. There are other support roles you can also take up. So don't think anything is too big or too difficult to do. I think that's the myth to first break that myth.
Yeah, I also wanted to add that in terms of like cybersecurity roles, I think I've seen some leaders in cybersecurity say that cybersecurity is not like an entry level role in a way. So which sometimes has a bit of truth in it. I just want to say that for anyone who's looking to like get into cybersecurity, if you see a role in IT, like IT support, you see a role in service desk analyst, system administrator roles, even though they're not, even if cybersecurity you're looking out for, if you see those roles, opportunity to take up those kind of roles, just take them up, because having knowledge of those roles, things around the system administration, resolving IT issues, first line, second line, escalations, those things are going to like really help you when you eventually get into cybersecurity, and they also like help you transition to, I think your bootcamp, Chukemeka will be able to like tell you more about those kind of stuffs, yeah.
All right, that's my own specialty, Victor. But that's fine. We'll come to that part of the discussion later. For now, let's dissect cybersecurity. Okay, I think this one is for you, Victor. Right. So, for people coming from non-technical background, what advice do you have for them that is trying to break into cybersecurity? Because you always hear, "Oh, I'm coming from customer experience. I'm coming from accounting. I'm coming from a law degree." What advice do you have for them?
So for instance, you're talking about I'm coming from a customer care role. Customer care role, what do you do in a customer care role? You communicate, right? You speak to people. And that is what you also do in cybersecurity too. You work in a team, right? Sometimes I spoke about service desk analysts, which might actually have a cybersecurity component. You resolve issues for people over the phone as a customer care person. Those skills are transferable when you are also into cybersecurity, because your cybersecurity role might be front facing, right? When you're a cyber analyst, for instance, or you have to present to C-level executives, by C-level, I'm talking about the CFOs, the CISOs that Olu mentioned, you need to have good communication skills. And the lawyer, you're speaking about lawyers write briefs, right? They write briefs, reports, and stuff like that. If you are coming to cybersecurity, say as an ethical hacker, being an ethical hacker, a penetration tester, is not just about hacking into systems. If you go to an organization to be a penetration tester, after doing the penetration test, you need to write a report as regards what you find. So you need to have good report writing skills too. Even as a security analyst, you also need to know how to write reports. So those skills you've learned as a lawyer, if you have the technical aptitude to learn the technical bits of ethical hacking, then you would also find that writing reports after your ethical hacking makes you an asset. It will shock you to know that some people who are really, really technical, who are really good in the IT thing, in the ethical hacking thing, they struggle to write reports. They struggle to express themselves. So you're actually coming in with an asset, something that other people too who are already inside the cybersecurity, they are struggling with. I know Olu would understand what I'm trying to say. You understand? Because some people actually know it, but they can't say it. They can't write it. They can't really write. So, um, I've mentioned that everybody coming into cybersecurity needs to know that they're coming in with something. You need to just find out what thing it is, what skill it is you actually have that can be your own detour, your own easy way in, to come in, and stress on that. I mean, some employees for some employers, some people who hire hiring managers some of them have also said that sometimes what they look out for might not be like maybe your skills. Sometimes they're looking for like aptitude to learn, the fact that you are willing to learn, you're easily teachable, you can provide instances of examples where you've actually learned something new before, so it's not just about, oh, I don't have this experience before. Some employers are willing to give you a chance to prove yourself. You go to some people's LinkedIn profile, you see somebody moves from a customer analyst or a customer service desk analyst. Now the person is working in cybersecurity, So I would just say, um, just know that if you would add with the right support and your learning journey too, like you don't want to do your learning journey alone, find a community. The bootcamp, I believe the bootcamp that is being offered to you guys, you have the community of learners. When you are alone, when you are doing it as a soul, like just like alone trying to learn and break into it can be very difficult. That is why we stress about things around like getting into a training, networking, building in public where people can comment. Those things actually help for your morale. They help your mental health in a way. So I'll just stop here for now. I think Olu might have some things to say.
No, Olu doesn't have anything to say. Olu will get his own question. We don't have the entire we don't have the entire day. All right, thank you so much, Victor. So Victor talked about basically you knowing that with your current place that you are, there's always a transferable skill from there to cybersecurity. You talked about things like report writing. Even if you perform pen testings, you still have to write your report. So it's very important that you have all those initial transferable skills. So don't fret that, okay, you're coming with a background of linguistic or a background of Yoruba or Igbo. There's always something that there's always something that you are going to move from that initial place to this new terrain. So this one is for you, Olu, right? While we start rounding up. So basically, how what does a typical career progression in cybersecurity look like? As someone that's been able to climb the ladder for more than close to 25 years. I mean, close to 25 years. What's the typical career progression in cybersecurity like? Just, walk us through it.
Yeah, I think I would just like to put it out there quickly to say, try to do horizontal movement first. And what do I mean by horizontal movement? Try to understand at the very minimum the basics of application infrastructure, security. So do that horizontal movement. So as you are moving up the ladder, there's nothing they are going to be talking about that you will not have a good idea or a contribution to make because you've done some horizontal movements. So as you are moving vertically, you start to be able to speak confidently. Uh, I think I think that should be clear enough. But if you want me to delve a bit more, I can just delve a bit more. You've held a role in IT support for a while. Try to move across to understand what they do on the networking team. Try to understand what the developers are doing. The database administrator, what does he do? What's his day-to-day work like? Possible requests for some I don't want to call it literal movement, but it's more like that because you can do some literal movement in cybersecurity. So just move around, try to understand what's going on within the team. That's the basic thing. Uh, don't mind what I said about literal movement, but before you do vertical movement, please
Yeah,
try as much as possible to do some horizontal movement.
I
It
think
helps to do a strong background, and then
yeah,
as you move up, you become really sound. You
yeah,
you'll be you'll be well rounded. And I think I like the fact that when you are talking to these CISOs, you they want you to interpret the technical jargon in a way that they can digest and understand the risk. What they are looking for is what is it? So what? We are going to be attacked by tomorrow if we do not buy a firewall. Oh, you're not going to buy. Yes. So what? That's what they want to know. But if you are all buried in networking, you don't know how to interpret the risk,
yeah,
then it becomes a very big problem. So try as much as possible to, do horizontal movement and then
yeah.
see what happens after.
All
And
right.
it's this what you've spoken about communication is really important because most businesses, most organizations, they see like cybersecurity as a cost center. Most of the time, it's more about the cybersecurity managers pressing them to increase budgeting. It's a big problem. If you cannot translate like why they need this software, they would not like budge and stuff like that. And the stuff you spoke about moving horizontal and vertical, like it's very important because even for those who are saying they don't want to learn something technical, you know, if you maybe work as a risk person and you need to write a report about maybe a router, firewall, something happens, the logs, things like that. You want to have a bit of an idea to like write something better, So I think what Olu has mentioned, just knowing the basics, knowing how some things work, just a bit about everything, it actually helps too. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Olu and Victor. We are way, way past our time, but I mean, you guys held me by my neck, and I kept moving. So, in the next minutes, I'll just give you the floor to, give a word of advice to, people that are trying to break into cybersecurity. What would you, advise them entirely? For Olu and also for Victor. Anyone can go first.
Olu, good first. Don't worry. You go first.
Well, it's a very tough question to answer, I would say, because we are not all same energy, and we are built differently. But I'm going to advise to say, try and understand what you want for yourself. Where do you want to be? There is nothing that is not doable. Coming from an accounting background, you would feel that I will never uh, find myself having a strong technical background. And that speaks for me anywhere I go and when I'm talking to other practitioners. So my word of advice is take advantage of all the learnings you can take advantage of. Network, look out for what you want, create a path. If you have questions, speak with people who can help you. Nobody's an island of knowledge. I still reach out to people today to ask questions. My wife is also in the cybersecurity space. We discuss this. We discuss these issues at
Your
home.
family is secured.
So, you know, you can imagine, you can imagine we discuss at home. So it's just to say that try and ask questions. Sometimes we ask each other questions and we reach out to other professionals. No one is an island of knowledge. You can never know it all. And be aware that the attackers are never going to sleep. They are going to be always a step ahead of those risk practitioners or even the technical guys. But create a path and follow the path.
Right. Thank you so much, Olu. So create a path and follow your path. How about you, Victor? Any last advice to everyone?
First of all, I just want to congratulate people who came around today, taking a step to attend such an event like this. It shows that, you're actually interested in growing in some way. You are interested in building your knowledge, coming around there. Attend events like this, webinars like this. You'd learn things. We're talking about networking. Talk to people. If you have a problem, talk to people. We're talking about building in public. If you're a beginner, very important to build in public. Talk about the events you attend on Twitter. Talk about it on LinkedIn. Let people know what you're doing. Let people see your progress. Very, very important. Healthy self-esteem. Very important to have a healthy self-esteem and a support group. When you are in a support group with people who are of the same proficiency level like you, they are struggling, you're struggling, all of you are figuring things out. You can work together, you can figure things out, you can help each other, so don't neglect a community. Having a community really helps your learning process because somebody might have an opportunity, have access to maybe a job link or somewhere, that you don't know about. So you don't want to be like a loner in this field, in this field. It's a very the cybersecurity sector, is a very small space. It's not as I don't think cybersecurity space is as big as, the data analytics space. It's a very close-knit community, so you want to let people know what you're doing, talk to people and connect with people. And yeah, coming in with something, we've mentioned the fact that think about your transferable skills that you're bringing to the table. You're not coming in empty. And personal lab, I want to also talk about personal labs. For those who are going to technical stuff, you can build a home lab, right? Previously around cybersecurity, you would mostly need to go to a big computer center to have access to the tools and stuff like that. But today, you can build a home lab, and do some penetration testing on your own. Install the virtual machines, the Kali Linux, install the images and the Ubuntu's and stuff like that, Metasploit, and do things at home and share it online. Let people see what you're doing. So there's a lot to actually do, and just connect to people and keep the fire burning and attend free events like this and find a community. We cannot stress that enough. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Victor. Thank you so much, Olu. We used extra 30 minutes of my own time for the conversation, but it was really, really worth it, which is why I made it for us to keep writing. So right now I'm going to try and move towards what we also offer for people that are looking to also attend some of these boot camps so that they get a bigger understanding of how they can also be able to be partakers of cybersecurity. So I'm going to share my screen again so I can bring up my slide and people can be able to see how they can be able to transition. So at this point, Olu and Victor, you are liberty to turn off your video and attend to your family and friends. Let me ride from here. So a very big thank you to each and every one of you. So guys, please feel free to connect with them on LinkedIn, across socials, and be able to also get acquainted with things that comes from their own side. So under our own bootcamp, or you can call it training, or you can call it project-based trainings, right? We have what we call key learning areas that you are going to be walked through. Okay, so like Victor and Olu rightly mentioned, it's very important that even if you are moving from a non-technical background and trying to break into this exact industry, there is need for you to have understanding of some key learning parts. Okay, so first thing we are going to walk you through is definitely about you understanding the foundations of computing and networking. Okay, so here we're going to walk you through the various computer architecture and also the security features that exist, the hardware-based encryptions and security bootings. And then also, of course, talk to you about the operating system, Windows, Linux, and of course, Mac OS. So it's very important for you to have this initial understanding before you even move deeper into cybersecurity. Then next, also walk you through networking, walk you through the LAN, the WAN, of course, the MAN, and also some of the network topologies that exist there, the bus style, the star, the ring, and of course, the mesh also. So these are to prepare you before you dive into the cybersecurity fully. Okay, so we're going to walk you through basics, foundations of computing and networking, and then gradually move you into introduction to cybersecurity. Why you have the theoretical understanding of it, the importance of cybersecurity, the 6 cybersecurity domains that exist, and some of the roles that you can also be able to play fully in. After it, we now move into offensive and defensive cybersecurity. Okay, so here we're not talking about the cyber attacks, the types, and every key learning area that you have a project-based learning attached to it. So it means that while we're talking about computing and networking, of course, you're already using your Wireshark to run a network topology. You're already using your Cisco packet tracer to also run some of these deployments also. So every key learning area that you will have a tool that you're learning attached to it. So we personally, we are big on hands-on aspects of cybersecurity. So you are going to be fully walk through this exact aspect of cybersecurity. Next is also to walk you through this cryptographic basis, where you're now going to understand the various ways that cryptographics can be performed. Before you now move into cyber threats and attack vectors, you have a full understanding of your malware, your viruses, your one, and of course, your Trojan. Then how do denial of service attacks also happen? And the DDoS, how does it also happen? Then we move into fully network security, your firewalls, the types and operations that exist out there, your IDS, that's your intrusion detection system, and also we have the IPS, which is intrusion prevention system. So you're going to be walked through all these technical area. And of course, endpoint security, where you'll have a full understanding of your endpoint detection and responses, that's your EDR, and also your anti-malware solutions that can also deploy, and of course, patch management and software updates. So as a cybersecurity person, it's very, very critical that you understand patch management and software updates. Then you also have your web and application security aspect, where you also learn your OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. You're going to learn your secure coding practices. So I heard when Olu mentioned it that I was happy, because it's part of things that we also walk our students through. Your secure coding practices and also your web application firewalls. Then incident response and forensics. And lastly, we're going to talk about your cybersecurity policies and compliance, which tilts towards GRC fully. So for our own training class, it runs for fully 4 months, okay? where you have a hands-on approach to all the topics that we're talking about. 3 months, you'll be in the classroom learning massively every Saturday. Okay. Then afterwards, you have a 1 month internship working on real life projects also. So you have a couple of tools that you are going to also learn to help you with respect to your transitioning. So the class holds every Saturday by 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. Okay. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and also 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. So if you're in UK, if you're in Europe, if you're in Africa, the morning class suits you more, right? And if you are in US, if you're in Canada, if you are in North America entirely, then the evening class suits you more because it should be around 10 p.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain time before the change happens. It should be later next month. Then on Sundays, you get a self-paced watch me do it videos. So what we do is, why we are giving you on Saturdays real life practical classes. You have a facilitator like myself walking you through all these from the classroom, okay, live. And then Sundays you get videos that's going to introduce you into other concepts in cybersecurity. I know you may be wondering, but how can we help you transition within these next 4 months? Okay, now this is a challenge that most people have, but like Victor mentioned, there is one thing that is very, very necessary. Before certification, you need to determine the direction of cybersecurity that you're going into, okay? Which is why the first thing that you need to do for you to have a full-blown practical approach to this is identify your desired career path. And then next one is for you to register and educate yourself. So there's one thing about community learning, that even when one person is falling off, there is another person there to hold you till you finish that exact journey. Okay. So number 2 is you registering and being part of the analytics and the training that we are going to offer. Then 3 is also having project-based learning approach. Like I mentioned, these days, even with recruiters looking for entry-level guys, they will always say, oh, we want someone with understanding of Fortinet, someone with understanding of Snot, someone with understanding of Splunk, okay? But I mean, you are just fresh, which means there is need for you to learn using project-based approach, for you to have an understanding of how do I use these tools when faced with these real-life projects. So after this number 1 to number 3, next 4, 5, 6 is talking about the employability aspect of tech ecosystem. So it's not just the technical skill, there is need for you to also to gain the employability skills that is going to help you to transition from where you're coming from to the new place that you're going to. Today I was speaking at an event that is meant for customer service people, and I was talking about data analytics in Thailand. It was really amazing that these guys, up as at now, everyone is still doing their reports in a way that it's not communicating insights. Okay, so even though they're in a different sector, they still need all these necessary skills. All right. So basically, we're also going to walk you through how do you gain these employability skills. Even though you have the technical ability, how do you tailor your CV to the jobs that you are looking for? So there is need for you to know, oh, I have knowledge in pen test and I have knowledge in GRC. If you are looking for a role, are you going to use the same GRC CV that you have to apply to a pen testing job vacancy? That's a total failure, right? So we'll walk you through how do you match your CV to the job that you're trying to apply to. Then also, of course, networking. You are definitely going to have amazing classmates that course across several countries in the world, really. If you joined earlier when we were doing introduction, we have people that are joining from UK, people that are joining from Canada, people that are joining from US, and of course, Nigeria and other African countries. So this is part of a community that gives you access to several people. And then mentorship session. So in all sincerity, I've heard people mention that mentorship session is part of their best aspect of our training. That is not even the technical skills. Because what we do is we bring in experts in the industry, people like Olu, people like Victor. We bring them to our mentorship classes to talk to our students, to walk them through, okay, what is obtainable out there? How do I prep myself for the labor market entirely? So when you get to hear it from the horse's mouth, it prepares you fully for this exact approach. So these are some of the projects that you get to work with. You can see this is for network deployment. let's look at the background. So Bizlet Bank is a mid-sized financial institution, and they've been experiencing significant growth over the past few years. To meet increasing demand and expand its market presence, the bank has decided to open a new branch in a neighboring city. And they've approached you as a network engineer, because the truth is, once you are done with the training, you have ample opportunities to break into several tech ecosystems, right? It can be a network engineer also. So, and they've approached you that, okay, you have been approached and they want you to design and implement a new network architecture, okay, for the new branch and establish a secure connection to the main branch. How do you do this? So these are part of the things that walk you through using practical based approach for you to know how to go about. So you're going to see the business problem and the expected outcome of what you are going to have. So we have a couple of success stories. People that have been able to do this and move from one area of their life to the tech ecosystem. And you too can also be part of this story. So it's simple, using the 6-step approach that I mentioned. First, you're on this call, and maybe your name is Glory. I'm sorry if your name is Glory. And you said, oh, my name is Glory, and I am a teacher. The next thing is for you to identify your tech career path that you want to transition through. Okay. Once you've identified it, you want to be a cybersecurity person. Next is learn the skills, register and be able to take on the journey with us using the project-based approach that you have in your number 3. And then also gain the employability skills, your CV review session, your LinkedIn optimization, your Upwork sessions, and several others. And of course, your networking ability will also be enhanced. Then mentorship session. Then afterwards, in 4 months' time, this is you again saying, hi guys, my name is Glory, and I'm a cybersecurity analyst. So basically, it's a straight line graph. And don't get me wrong, it's not this easy. I mean, I know when we say these things, it seems as if it's easy. I was speaking to the August guys. So some of them are saying, oh, guy, this is too tedious. I'm tired. I beg, I don't want to learn anymore. But it's a marathon. So what I told them is that even though you are trying to fast forward and make sure that you have everything you want to know in one day, you will not know everything in one day. It's a gradual process. It's a marathon. And once you're able to count step 1, step 2 will come, step 3 will come. Most important thing is for you to constantly be able to keep moving. So once you are done with our program, you should be able to work in this couple of roles here. So I always tell people also that when you are applying to roles, when you are looking for a job, it's not just, oh, you've gone to read.co.uk, you've gone to remote.uk, and you've searched only cybersecurity analyst. No, there are a lot of derivatives from cybersecurity. So first, you have the necessary tool knowledge that role entails. If you have the knowledge of, okay, they want you to use Nmap or Nexus with respect to vulnerability scanning, which means you can be a vulnerability analyst if that's what they're looking for. But if you've not been able to know, oh, for vulnerability analytics, I need Nmap, I need Nexus, you may not even know what to apply to. So cybersecurity is like the umbrella, but then there are several derivatives that you can always be able to apply to. So like I always tell people, there is one simple winning formula that works. Okay, if you want to land job offer, if you want to transition, technical skill alone will not be able to do it for you. Okay, if you didn't get anything from the cybersecurity class, get this one from this employability class. Technical skill alone will not be able to land you that job. There is need for you to have the employability skills also, because these are things that recruiters look out for. That will be sure, oh, if you hire Chukwemeka is going to deliver on these things. And one aspect of the employability services that we are going to offer you is CV sessions. Your CV will always get to the company before you. So if you are not able to prepare it in a way that it represents everything that you know, it might not even scale the initial ATS, which is applicant tracking system. So what we do is we also walk our students through CV review sessions and then present you with a CV for you to be able to use. And then when applying to subsequent jobs, you need to be able to match your CV to the job that you are going for. Okay. And next one is LinkedIn optimization sessions. So walk our students through also, how do I become visible on LinkedIn? How do I build my profile in a way that recruiters are going to reach out to me? How do I learn publicly? How do I do my consistency projects? Because believe me, as of today, recruiters still highly use LinkedIn for hiring. I was trying to hire someone for lead generation. What I did was I simply went to LinkedIn and I typed apollo.io. So this is a tool for lead generation. And it brought out everyone that made a post on apollo.io. And then personally, I now headhunted who I needed. And then set up an interview with the person. Hi, guys, I saw your profile, looks interesting. Do you mind jumping on a 1 minute or a 10-minute call for us to see the stability of your profile to what we are looking for? As simple as that. But if you don't post on LinkedIn, that is when you already, you're not in the trend of things. Someone mentioned to me last week that LinkedIn is too cringe. And I was like, okay, how will you feel this is cringe when you are looking for something? I mean, your fight is against poverty and not against whether this is cringe or not. So please make sure that you're also able to learn public. These are part of things that will walk our students through. The next one is Upwork sessions, where we also put students through how they can, use Upwork with respect to side hustles. Then how do you navigate the job market? It's very, very important. So we bring in expert recruiters also to the classroom to work to students about, okay, this is the site that applications are. You can use read.co.uk, you can use this remote.co, you can use Wellfound, and so much more. Right? So it's not just when you go to Google Jobs or when you just go to LinkedIn. There are several other job boards that exist out there. Then job and interview prep sessions. When you land an interview invite, we are available to also prep you for some of these interviews, for all the interviews actually. And using the STAR framework, how do you answer situation-based question? Situation, task, action, and results. The recruiter is asking you, oh, hi, Chukwemeka, tell me about a time in the past where you've been able to scan an IP address and bring out the vulnerabilities from there. Okay, you can simply say, oh, while I was consulting with analytics, I was challenged. I was on this project that we needed to scan an IP. And I used my Nmap using the -S capital V to run my scan. And after it, I saw the various version controls of that IP I was trying to scan. And then this was this, that. So you are presenting what you did using that situation, task, action, and result. So what it does is that it boxes the recruiters into asking you other questions from what you've mentioned. So next thing they're going to ask you, okay, when you did this exact scan, what next happened? So you've already, pushed them to the wall to be asking you specific questions from that exact place. Okay. The next one is recommendation and reference letters. Because you are working on real life projects, we are also available to provide you with recommendation letters when you need it. And like I mentioned, weekly mentorship sessions where we're bringing experts to the classroom to also walk our students through how the market is entirely, because trend always move. Okay, so what we do is we bring in current experts in the industry, come back to class and talk to students. Oh, this week it was about crowd strike that happened though, and you guys are going to have a conversation around it so that they are prepared about the things that they're going to face in the world out there. And then lastly, on the job support, where when you land a role, we also are available to help you find your fitting on that exact role so you can easily run. So all these things, both the technical skill and the employability aspect of the training, is to prepare you to, at least once you are done with your own program, you should at least have one job interview after completing all this end to end. Okay, so when you join, we'll have our learning management system where you will be onboarded. Okay, so this is our learning management system where most of your classes will also be uploaded, the recorded version. So the class is dual. It's a live class, but it's also recorded. Why we do this is because sometimes people will tell you, oh, I had a family engagement. Oh, I had extra shift that I needed the cash. So what we do is we record those sessions so that at any point that you come back, you can always go to it and be able to have access to the recorded version of those classes. Okay, so moving on. Sorry, I need to make this bigger. Sorry, I need to make it. Moving on, all this is what we've packaged to give you to make sure that you have access. So do you have any on-site class? No. So we are scattered across the globe. All our classes are all virtual. But what we do is the same way I'm communicating with you now, live class, that's the same way you'll be in a live class and someone is going to have an interaction and teaching you everything that you need to know. For instance, let me walk you through the Google Classroom so that we can also see how some of these things are done. So let me see Google Classroom. because when you join, you have access to this. So let me go to the Google Classroom and walk us through most of these things. And most of the tools that you also need, you'll be walked through how to install them. You'll be walked through how to install them. Okay, let me go to the October class, because we always have cohorts that start every first Saturday of the month. Let me go to October class. I hope it is here. Hope it is here. October class. Cybersecurity October. Okay, I'll check for that later. So this is November class. So you see how everything is structured. So this is their class work. You see that first thing is they have their onboarding sessions here. They have their drop-in session and then introduction to computing. So right here, you can see the video recording of this exact class. Okay, so even if someone missed this exact class, they can always come back here and watch the video. And it is lifetime access that you have both to the Google Classroom and to the learning management system. Same thing with the networking introduction. And you're going to see, okay, they've been grouped into several groups to have all those accountability partnership, okay, with respect to their journey, and so on and so forth. So everything is uploaded here for you to have live access to it. You also see the tools that most of these things. How do you install Nexus? How do you install Z-Cipher? How do you install Kali Linux? Because this is an environment that is very necessary for you to run most of your other tools also. How do you also download some of these applications, Cisco Packet Tracer, Kali Linux, your Mac OS? So you are going to be walked through, and of course, you're going to have a virtual lab, either using virtual or VMware. So all these are things that we are going to walk you through, see you find your fitting. Then the mentorship sessions are also uploaded here for you to watch it anytime that you want. Maybe you missed a class, you can always come back and watch the recorded version. This one was on recruitment series 1. This yesterday one was on imposter syndrome. So there's always something that they do every week. This is on SIT and staff framework relating to interview sessions. Okay, and their CV review session 1 that they've had, the video was also uploaded here. And of course, the CV review materials, how you can go about it, was also uploaded for them. Extra resource 2, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you see everything is made available for you with respect to your learning journey. Okay, it is made available for you with respect to your learning journey. All right, moving on. So these are other success stories from our past students. And for you to be able to have access to this, remember, please fill in the attendance form so that by the end of this class, we'll send the slides to you and also the recording of this class. You can go through it and watch all the videos and read the other success stories and be able to see what our others have been able to walk through. Okay, and these are all success stories, all success stories. So the amazing thing now is that our next cohort is starting on the 2nd of November. So the next cohort starts on 2nd of November, and we have an amazing discount for you. So we have a 20% discount, early bird discount currently going for the first 20 people to join some of the classes. And the 20 is not even 20 at the moment, okay? The 20 is no more 20. I can tell you that it is less than 20. So what happens is, once the number 20 reaches, the site automatically resets the payments to $750. So the amount for the program end to end is $750. Then the discounted amount is $750. So how can you have access to this? Once you click on the link that my colleague are going to drop in the comment section, we are going to be allowed to see the Analytics Enrollment Center. So right here, you see everything that we offer. You can see the special discounts, special offer, 20% discount for the early birds. So what you simply have to do is scroll down and look for where you want to join. So specifically, since we're talking about cybersecurity, you can scroll down and you will see cybersecurity analyst here. So what you have to do is click on register for CS. Okay. Once you click on register for CS, it's going to bring you to the checkout page. All right. It's going to bring you to the checkout page. So what you have to do now is that you have the option to either make one-off payments or make payment twice or make payment 3 times. Okay, so what you have to do is simply select the one that suits you. So let me go to the one that suits me, which is I want to pay it for 3 times. Okay, which means if I pay first one today, once I click on it, I click on proceed to pay. So it's telling me, oh, if you pay first one today, you are expected to pay next one by 19th of November. And then you're expected to pay last one by, 19th of December. So once you've seen this and it fits what you want to do, simply click on proceed. And then right here, what you have to now do is put in your name, your email, phone number, and then pay for products. As simple as that. So this collects payments across the globe. So whether you are in UK, whether you are in Germany, it converts your exact payment card into US and takes the dollar equivalents from it. So it accepts all payments from every place. After this, what you now have to do is go back to that initial page and click on upload your receipt. So right here, you can now upload the receipt that you got after making the payment online. Someone from our team is going to reach out to you, welcoming you to the program with your welcome kit. Remember, the discount is not for everyone. As of today, the 20 slot discount is remaining less than 15. So please, I would advise you to be able to, make use of this option and break into the tech industry. You have the option to also say, oh, I want to secure my spot and defer it to December so that you can, be able to start by December. Maybe you have an engagement as at now. It is also allowed to help you easily transition into this exact career path. So what I'll do now is I'm going to take a couple of questions from people right now to find how we can also be for an assistant. So in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to take questions from anyone. So if you have questions, please can drop it in the chat box, or you can use the raise hand icon and I will call you up to speak. Okay. So if you have question, can drop it in the chat box, or you can use the raise hand icon and I will call you up to speak. So quickly, let me go through the chat box and see if there are questions for me. Okay, I'm sure some people are already answering. My colleagues are also on the call and they're answering some of the questions already. Please, how do I join the WhatsApp group? I'm sure, okay, the link has been dropped for you. Someone is also asking, can we have a session like this for agile project management? Wow. Okay, so what happens is that, that we always have series of sessions. And I think we had agile project management either last week. Okay, I think we had it last week. So what I'll suggest you do is to go to YouTube, because all our sessions, we always record it rather, and upload to YouTube. So once you go to YouTube, you are going to see most of the sessions that I've had, and personally can now go through it. I'm 100% sure that I've done a session on agile project management.
I have 12 emails, 30 messages, and a proposal due by 10. How am I already underwater?
I'm in the same boat.
I'm in an actual
Let me
boat.
quickly check.
Hi everyone, my name is Ikmat, and
Let me quickly
I
check
was
so that we can know whether there is agile project management there. So once you go to our YouTube page, you can see some of the sessions that we've had. You can see this exact one that Adeza had was not interested in care jobs, secure other visa sponsored jobs in UK, US, or Canada. You can also go through it. You can see it was posted 6 days ago, and it has out some of these views. So let me quickly check the videos and be sure that we have the agile project management. Oh, all right, see it here. So you can see this was posted 5 days ago, which means we had a session like this on agile project management. So once you go to YouTube and go to our page, you can see this exact one. The topic was how to write user stories with Jira for remote projects as a business analyst, agile project manager, step-by-step guide. So you can always have access to all these recordings. So right now, after today's own, is also going to be made available to be sent to your emails, and also the slide will be shared with you. I hope that answers your question for the person asking for agile project management. Okay, how many weeks does the training take? That's from Bumi. So it's a 4-month training where you'll be trained massively in the classroom for 3 months, and then you have an internship experience for 1 month. I don't know if there are other courses. What days and time of the week does the class hold? From Jerry? Okay, so the class holds live classes is only on Saturdays. It's 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. All right, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. So what happens is we have morning class and the evening class, all right? But sometimes you may have, we only have one person that is joining from Canada. It might be a tad bit hard to have one class for one person. What we'll do at that point is to find a middle ground. Maybe it will now be by 2 p.m. so that both the people in Canada and people in West African time zones can comfortably join. But the timing is simply 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and also 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African. I hope that answers your question, Jerry. Okay, I don't know if there are other questions because we just hit our 2 hours mark. So if you have any question, please use the raise hand icon and I'll call you up to speak, or you can drop it in the chat box and I'm going to pick it up from there. Okay? And please remember, don't forget to fill the attendance form so that personally you can go through everything that I'll say tonight and digest it, and also watch the recording and digest it and be able to make a decision from an informed perspective. Okay? So please make sure that you're able to key in to the discount that we also offer. All right? Because what happens most times is someone come back to us and say, oh, Chukwemeka, I was in your session and you mentioned that I will have $600, but I went to make payment and I'm seeing $750. So to avoid that, I always advise people, try to secure your spot. At the point that you're seeing 600, try to secure it. I mean, we are all in this economic drama that is happening at the moment. The price that you see 1 hour ago might entirely be different from the price that you see right now. So please make sure that you secure your spot so that you're part of the class that will be starting by 2nd of November. So there's even more. There's other success stories, some of the references that we've been able to provide to people. And this is to show you that it is possible for you to move from one place that you are at the moment into the tech ecosystem. We've been doing this for the last 4 years, more than 4 years actually, and we've helped more than 2,000 people move from their present career path into the tech ecosystem. All right, so all these are all success stories of people that have been able to do this in the past. They are all success stories. You can also go to YouTube. When you scroll through our YouTube page, you're also going to see a lot of other success stories. But like I mentioned, if you want to watch the slide and go through all of them personally, please make sure you fill the attendance form so that you have access to this and be able to, watch and read every single thing that we have written here. So thank you so much. I can't see any more questions and no hand is raised. Thank you so much to everyone for being with us till this very moment. Thank you so much to Victor for being our keynote speaker, and also to Olu for also being part of our keynote speech today. So I really appreciate it. I don't know whether any of you have any last contribution or anything before we call it a night from West Africa. Hi, Victor. Hi, Olu. I can see that you guys are still there. I don't know whether you have anything that you want to add before we call it a night from here.
I just want to say thank you for all you do to support Black talent. And I would say we need a lot more of Black talent in Europe and other parts of the world. Please own your skills as much as possible. Attend all the trainings that are possible for you, and be the best candidate you can be for any recruiter.
All right. Thank you so much, Olu. Okay, Victor is still there. Hi, Victor. How about you?
Hello. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming around and thank you for inviting me. And it's been an insightful discussion. I've learned from it too. And yeah, don't give up. Just keep pushing. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Victor. Thank you so much, Olu. And please don't give up. Remember, if you try something newly, you have 2 possible options. All right. One is either you fail or you succeed. Okay. And then the other is if you don't try, you only have one scenario, which is failure. Okay. So don't feel, oh, is this a very tedious career path? Can I actually do this? Trust me, you can. It's just in the mind. Once you've said, okay, this is the path I want to follow fully, we are going to help you actualize that exact dream. Like the more than 2,000 people that have helped to do this from 2020 that have been in this exact ecosystem, helping people in the Black community move from areas that they are presently in into the tech ecosystem. You can be the next 2001 person. So these are places that our students work. I always tell people that our highest employer of labor is always NHS, because they're the one that give visa sponsorship to our students. So they are always the people that employ highest number of our students. You can see a couple of social impacts that we've had, hackathons that we've had, capture the flags that we've had in the past. And this is also to help the community to grow bigger and bigger. So on behalf of my founder, Adeza Suleiman, and also my co-founder, Efemina Ipo, I say a very big thank you to each and every one of you that joined us from 8 p.m. West African time to this very moment. And also say a special thank you to my panelists, Olu and Victor. So guys, the ball is in your court. The best time to break into the tech industry is yesterday. The next best time is today. Please ensure that you take advantage of it. Thank you so much once more, and goodbye from here. Cheers and bye for now. Bye, guys.